Peace. How we all doing? All praise and glory to the mighty Most High. Our Creator is one God. There's none like Him. All praise and glory to the mighty one, the mighty one. Okay. Real quick, Exodus 15:3. Okay. Look at that. I'm going to read through a few of these. Okay. As you can see, it says, "The Lord is a warrior. The Lord is His name. The Lord is a warrior. The Lord is His name. The Lord is a warrior. Yahweh is His name." Okay. The Lord is a warrior and Yahweh is His name. Jehovah is a man of war. Jehovah is a man of war. I'm reading these for you right down here. You see it? Let's see, right there. Jehovah. Oops. Don't know what happened there. Okay. So we're reading through these. Jehovah is a man of war. Lord Jehovah, the mighty man. Lord Jehovah, mighty man. And the warrior. Lord Jehovah is His name. Okay. The Lord bringing war to naught. The Lord is His name. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is His name. Fallen down all lords, hundreds of them, young. Jehovah is a man of battle. Okay. The man of battle. Yahweh is the Lord. Yahweh is His name. Yahweh is a man of war. Where are you at? That one. The Lord is a man of war. His name is Ihua. Okay, Yahweh, right there. Literal translation Bible, right there. Yahweh is a man. Okay? A man, folks. A man of battle. Yahweh is a man of battle. Yahweh is His name. Now, the reason why there's conflict in the name is because the tribes couldn't agree on vowels because they didn't have vowels back then. Vowels came later. A-E-I-O-U is almost as a chant. A-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. Yeah, well, that's the vowels that were brought in. Okay, so now I've shown you with the parables 15:3 of Exodus that it tells us that Yahweh is a man of war. So what's the difference between Yahweh and Jesus or Jehovah or any of them? Okay, well, if you go to the Strong's Concordance and you place your cursor, you go to the parable and you put it on the Lord, which we'll be talking about. Okay, the Lord. Also, yesterday I did a show, like I said, and I spent 45, almost an hour writing it up on the board. And then I spent another, I was probably 48 minutes into the lesson. And then I went to eat. And then I plugged it in. I closed a little bit like that, placed it on the charger while I went and ate. And then when I came back in to finish the recording, it shut down. My computer shut down. So they didn't allow this. Good morning, Allie. They didn't allow this to be uploaded yesterday. This 2-hour lesson that I did, they didn't allow it to be uploaded. So I don't know if you're here. I just wanted you to check it out. The literal translation, Yahweh right there is a man of battle. Yahweh is His name. So that's what we're going to be going over, because I saw a video this morning about a guy, he was bashing Yahweh. And we got to always remember in Numbers 23:19, it tells us that God is not a man that He should lie, or the son of man that He should change His mind. So God is not a man. So if Yahweh is a man in the spirit, the Creator is not a man, then those that are worshiping Yahweh, Joseph, Josephet, Hosea, any of these names that are given to God, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Noah, if you're worshiping any of these as gods, you will burn. You understand? There is only one creator, the supreme self-existing spirit that moves all things in place. And he tells you that you must worship him in spirit and truth. So yesterday, like I said, I did this show. It was a 2-hour show by the time I had all the time into it, and it didn't upload. So what I need to do here is, give me 1 second. We're going to go back to the saddle again, and we're going to start at the Lord said to Moses. We're at Leviticus 4 here. And this is why I just went over that with the Lord, because the Lord in the Strong's equals 3068. And it says that this is the proper name of the God of Israel. So they're telling you that Yahweh is the God of Israel, and 15:3 is telling you that Yahweh is a man. So you guys are worshiping a man. Okay? So let's begin this lesson. The Lord said to Moses, say to the Israelites, whenever when anyone sins unintentionally and does what is forbidden in any of the Lord's commands, in the anointed priest's sins, bringing guilt on the people, he must bring to the Lord a young bull without defect as a sin offering for the sin that he has committed. Okay? So you're to bring a young bull as a sin offering. What's the key here on this? It's without defect. Okay? This is important for us to understand, that the Creator, when he says that bring him any kind of sacrifice at all, it is to be without defect. Okay? The point that I get to here is Jesus was a blemished sacrifice. If he was beaten half to death, if he was tortured, if he had to carry a cross, if he bled on his way to the mountain, then that would be a blemished sacrifice. And the Lord says, don't bring him anything that isn't that is blemished. It has to be without defect as a sin offering for the sin he has committed. He is to present the bull at the entrance to the tent of meetings before the Lord. Okay, again, the Lord is what? The Lord in Jerusalem today, the providence of Jerusalem today is considered the Jehovah is his name, and Jehovah is his name. Okay, if the anointed he is to present at the entrance of the tent of meetings before the Lord. He is to lay his hand on its head and slaughter it there before the Lord. So now something is being slaughtered before the Lord, which means that there is a man here, Yahweh. It has to be Yahweh. You can't deny it. If we're talking about what's supposed to be the supreme creator, the Lord is Yah. Okay. Also, it is Jehovah. Okay. Then the anointed priest shall take some of the bull's blood and carry it into the tent of meeting. He is to dip his finger into the blood and sprinkle some of it 7 times before the Lord. So it is in the presence of something. There's a man that is inside of this tent in front of the curtain of the sanctuary. In front of the curtain of the sanctuary. What does that sound like to you? To me, sounds like the Wizard of Oz. Okay? See, you got to understand something. The children of Israel, they were molded from the dust of the earth. There's something different about the children that are molded from the dust of the earth than those that are created in an image. Okay, so when we have something that's behind a curtain, in the presence of the Lord, behind the curtain, because he's bringing in the sacrifice and sprinkling some of it 7 times before the Lord in front of the curtain of the sanctuary. The priest then put some of the blood on the horns of the altar of fragrance incense that is before the Lord in the tent of meetings. Okay, now when I hear the word horn, personally myself, I always associate the word horn with Satan. Now, it's not every time, but it is sometimes. Okay? He shall remove all the fat from the bull of the sin offering, all the fat that is connected to the internal organs, both kidney with the fat on them near the loins and the long lobe of the liver, which he will remove with kidneys, just as the fat is removed from the ox sacrificed as a fellowship offering. Then the priest shall burn them on the altar of burnt offerings. Now, see, Satan is the god of fire. Okay, you got to understand that we're in a realm here of existence that is like Hell's Kitchen. That's why you have Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen saying, with all of his cook shows, because everything on this plane of existence is cooked and fried and burnt and barbecued and deep fried and oven fried and pan fried, and everything's cooked on this plane of existence. That's why it's called Hell's Kitchen, because this is what it means when he says, if any of God's children come and sin against him unintentionally. You don't understand. Unintentionally means like us Gentiles, man. There's laws that are given to the Israelites or the Yeshuralites or the Hebrews or the humans, okay? Or the chosen children of God. There's these laws that are given to them not to eat yeast inside of the bread, but us Gentiles, everything that we eat is no good. It's all garbage. Everything is garbage. This place here is feeding us garbage. The air is sprayed with poison. It's garbage. The water we drink has fluorides in it. It's garbage. The foods we eat have GMOs in them. They're garbage. The medical field is telling us that we have to jack ourselves up with a vaccine. It's garbage. I might just get a strike for that one right there. Who knows? Okay, but the hide of the bull and all its flesh, as well as the head of the legs and the internal organs and the intestines, that is, all the rest of the bull, he must take outside the camp to place ceremonially clean, where the ashes are thrown, and burn it there in a wood fire on the ash heap. So he's throwing the sacrifice, excuse me, of what's left on the wood fire on the ash heap. Okay, burnt and fried. The book says that the Lord is a consuming fire. So what is the consuming fire? Isn't Satan the god of fire? Now, you got to understand that the Spirit, the self-existing eternal Spirit, created something and gave something power. This is your connection in Revelations 13:15, where it says that the second beast was permitted to breathe into the image of the first beast so that it could speak and cause those that didn't worship it to be killed. The second beast are those that are created in Genesis 1:26 and 27. That's the first beast. Remember, Jesus said before Abraham was, I am. Jesus says that he's the firstborn over all creation. Who's the firstborn over all creation? That man that's created in an image of God on the 6th day of creation. Okay? If the whole Israelite community sins unintentionally, like the Gentiles, we eat bread with yeast in it all day long, and does what is forbidden in any of the Lord's commands, even though the community is unaware of the matter, when they realize their guilt and the sins they committed become known, the assembly must bring a young bull as a sin offering and present it before the tent of meetings. The elders of the community are to lay their hands on the bull's head before the Lord, and the bull shall be slaughtered before the Lord. Give me a second. What are you doing now? Who's making all that noise? Okay, a couple of things that I want to cover here real quick. Number one is the elder. Okay, an elder is the same as an ancestor, which is also the same as elder, father, ancestor. Okay, these are what it means when it says your father. It's talking about an elder. They're talking about a father. Okay, it's not the spirit. It's not the creator. Okay, just because it says the Holy Spirit, the Father, and the Son is not talking about the spirit. A father is flesh. The Spirit of truth, the living God, is nothing but spirit. He's not flesh. A father is flesh. Okay? Next one was community. Take a look at the word community. Commune, one, change the TI to SM, and what do you have? Communism. You see, because community equals good. Community good equals the people. Okay? When a community deals with its own, then the people can rid their community of the evil. It's that simple. The community is a communion. It is communism, because this is what America says is evil. Communism is evil. But communism is only to commune, folks. Our ancestors have sold us this lie about freedom, and at the same time they're selling you this lie about freedom. What are they doing? They're stealing your freedoms. They're taking your freedoms. The corruption comes from the law enforcement. The corruption comes from the government. The corruption comes from 9:6 of Isaiah. Okay? Unto us a son is born. Unto us a son is given. Okay? And the governments shall be upon his shoulders. Upon whose shoulders? Jesus's shoulders. That's who we're talking about. Unto us a son is born. Unto us a son is given. This is a split parable here. Okay, one is Yeshua. This is a man approved. The other is Christ crucified. Crucified. Jesus Christ crucified. Fried. Why? Because he went to hell. He's fried, man. He's a fried in bowl soup. Jesus is. Now, if you're one of my new subscribers and you happen to be listening to it thus far, I have a lot of information that proves that Jesus is 666. Jesus is the man of perdition. I prove it with scriptures, and I prove it with the riddle itself. No one can turn away from what I'm teaching you here. Okay? And realize their guilt, and the sin offering they committed becomes known. The assembly must bring a young bull as a sin offering and present it before the tent of meetings. The elders of the community are to lay their hands on the bull's head before the Lord, and the bull shall be slaughtered before the Lord. So now you have something that's being slaughtered. Something, think about what I'm going to say to you here. Something that creates is going to have you slaughter something in front of it. That sounds like a pretty rotten kind of God to me. The Creator creates. Okay? Creation is from the Creator. And the Creator created something that eats. What is it? It's mankind. It's us. We've become flesh eaters, folks. And this is why everyone must repent. Because never in the garden was it allowed that did the Creator ever say to Adam or Eve that you may eat of any meat in the garden. You can eat of any animal. You can eat a rabbit. You can eat a bull. You can eat a cow. You can eat a freaking goat. You can eat whatever you want. It never existed. Sacrifice didn't exist. They were cast out into a world of knowledge of good and evil. Good and evil are those that in us that we know God exists, but we place gods beside God or worship other gods. And that's a fallacy. Okay. The elders of the community are to lay their hands on the bull and head and slaughter it before the Lord. Then the anointed priest is to take some of the bull's blood into the tent of meeting. He shall dip his finger into the blood and sprinkle it before the Lord 7 times in front of the curtains. Okay, sprinkling blood to me doesn't sound right, folks. It just doesn't sound right to me at all. Sorry. He is to put some of the blood on the horns of the altar that is before the Lord in the tent of meetings. Remember, I personally myself, I associate horns as the devil, because what? When we want to have sex, man, and we're out there in the road, what? We're all horny, right? That's why the word horny is used in a sexual manner, because it's got to do with your horns, man, coming out. You're not girding up your loins. You're not staying strong. Okay, he shall remove the fat from it and burn it on the altar and do with his bull just as he did with the bull of the sin offering. In this way, the priest will make atonement for the community and they will be forgiven. Folks, the whole entire Bible is telling us that you shall place nothing before the supreme Creator, the Spirit, the living God, the Spirit of truth, the perpetual, always in motion, always existing Creator who created a realm, a materialized realm, centropy, the electrification of this realm. He created this realm. Who can make straight what God has made crooked. He's the one that did it. He is to put the blood on the horns of the altar that is before the Lord in the tent of meetings. The rest of the blood shall be poured out at the base of the altar of the burnt offerings at the entrance of the tent of meetings. He shall remove the fat from it and burn it on the altar and do with the bull just as he did with the bull for the sin offering. In this way, the priests will make atonement for the community and they will be forgiven. I read that twice because it's why. Because I'm trying to point out to you that the Creator is saying you come to him, but whoever this is that's inside this tent of meetings that's claiming to be the Lord has to be Yahweh, and Yahweh is a man. Okay, and the Creator, the Supreme Spirit, is saying you're not to worship any man. So then all Elohim are used of the Supreme Creator, both good and evil. Good Elohim and bad Elohim. Then he shall take the bull outside the camp and burn it as he burned the first bull. This is the sin offering for the community. Picking up at 22 here, back to the board. Like I said, by this time I have about 2.5 hours into this lesson now. writing it up on the board, all the time I spent yesterday trying to produce this lesson, and then it didn't upload. So when that happens, I got to go live because I don't want to spend another half hour writing the first part of this lesson up on the board again. So it is what it is. So when a leader sins unintentionally and does what is forbidden in any of the commands of the Lord, your God, when he realizes his guilt and the sin he has committed becomes known, he must bring as an offering a male goat without defect. Again, without defect. Okay? He is to lay his hand on the goat's head and slaughter it at the place where the burnt offerings is slaughtered before the Lord. I mean, look, you're a creator, you're in flesh, and you're asking your priests to slaughter something before you. You know what that reminds me of? What I envision that of? I don't know if you've ever seen Gladiator, but Gladiator, this is the scene where they're all inside their first, it's the Battle of Carnage, I believe. If you were to Google it and go to the scenes, I think it's called the Battle of Carnage. And at one time it shows Russell slice the guy's throat, and then blood spurts out everywhere, and then it the camera tunes in on Phoenix, the guy who's playing the new king who killed his own father. Phoenix, if the camera pans to Phoenix, man, and he's all like, yeah, like he's loving it and stuff. That's what I think of anybody that would want to see an animal slaughtered before them. Look, if I was at a farm and the farmer's all like, hey, we got to get a calf for dinner tonight. You want to come out and watch me slaughter the animal? I wouldn't want any part of that shit, man. I wouldn't want to lay my eyes on any of that. So to me, it's just, who would want to see an animal slaughtered? It is a sin offering. Then the priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger and put it on the horn. Again, I associate horns with the devil of the altar of burnt offerings, and pour out the rest of the blood at the altar, at the base of the altar. He shall burn all the fat on the altar as he burned the fat of the fellowship offerings. Burn, 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 because Satan is the one, mankind are the one that love to burn. Remember, folks, mankind are not the same as humans. Okay? They're two different races. These are the second. Okay? These are the first. Okay? Humans are not the same as mankind. This is why if you look up the word dibach, okay, it means an evil spirit which is capable of moving through a humankind, animal, or a human. Why this distinction between humankind and human? Because humankind are kind of a man. They're not full men. They have no spirit on them. They have a soul, but they don't have the spirit breathed on them. They don't have the breath. They don't have the life of God that's been breathed on them. Okay? So mankind are the ones that love the smell of burnt flesh. So mankind are the seed of Satan. It's us, the beast, the Gentile. We're the seed of Satan. Mankind is the seed of Satan. And Cain was the first Nephilim. And he went off to breed. And they say that he's married to one, but I'm sure that evil man, he went, I mean, come on. You're the first creations on the earth that are living and stuff, right? And then you're born into this falsetto world of an illusion. and you're looking at all these gorgeous women that are throwing themselves at you, and you're just this mean, nasty, vile man of a human being. When Eve said that God, the Lord, has given me a man child, no, she had given him a demon child. A Rosemary's Baby is what was first born into this plane of existence. They're telling you in Hollywood and everything that's going on. It's mind-blowing. Everything that I've ever watched in my life completely has different meaning now to it. In this way, the priest will make atonement for the leader's sin, and he will be forgiven. How can anyone make atonement for anybody's sin when the Creator says that you have to go to him yourself? You got to bow to him. You don't go to anybody. So now we have Israelite mediators between the people and God. It sounds like a court system to me. Sounds like the same thing that the Gentile have done. So there's and who were they taught by? They were taught by what? Who? Used. Those that were used on the sixth, those that are created on the sixth day are used. Copy a link of it in my copy a link. I'll check it out after this live stream. I'm almost finished here. So what I was just saying is that who can make atonement for anybody's sins other than the Creator? The Creator is the only one that can forgive. So, and the Creator is the one that says that sacrifice isn't as important to him as a man that walks upright and does what is righteous. Incense burnings and offerings don't mean anything to the supreme Spirit of truth, the living God. If any of the members of the community sins unintentionally and does what is forbidden in any of the commands, when they realize their guilt and the sins they have committed becomes known, they must bring an offering for their sins, a female goat without defect. Again, without defect. That's 3 times in this chapter now we've seen without defect. So again, I bring to your attention that Jesus was a blemished sacrifice. He was not without defect. He was beaten. He was tortured. He had sweat on his body. He was nasty. He had lacerations. They pulled on his hair. They spit on him. That was a blemished sacrifice. Not that it even happened, because it's bullshit. It never did happen. Jesus went on to live and have a prosperous life. Jesus had children, and it says that he went on to have a prosperous life in chapter 53. It also says that Jesus was buried with the wicked and the rich in his death. Yeah, Jesus did. He says, there's none good but God alone. He first says, why do you call me good? There is none good but God. Yeah. They are to lay their hands on the head of the offering and slaughter it in the place of the burnt offerings. Again, slaughter. Why is the word laughter and slaughter? Because the slave masters are laughing at your asses because they've brought you into this. You don't understand that eating meat is an unintentional sin that I don't think anybody knows that it's unintentional, man, that there was no animals that were given as food in the garden. So then the priest is to take some of the blood with the finger and put it on the horns of the altar. Horns, again, associate with me, the devil. Okay, because the devil, as we've been taught in mythology, has horns. They're always painting the devil with horns, but it's a metaphor. The devil doesn't have horns, folks. The devil is somebody that looks just like me. All right, looks just like you, looks like anybody around us who's walking around us. The devil could be anyone out there at any given time. If you're not worshiping the Spirit of truth, the living God, and asking for his armor, his protection, then you are walking in sin. And at any time, the seed of Satan can use your body the same way that the Creator uses us to correct his children, to correct those that worship him. This is a plane where you have to learn. You have to learn who you are and what you are. This is a plane of existence, is teaching our souls right from wrong, not your flesh suit right from wrong. It's teaching the soul within you what is right and wrong. So when you're judged, when your body dies, your flesh dies, and your soul stands before God for judgment, then you're going to realize how deep in shit you are. Okay, they shall remove all the fat, just as the fat was removed from the fellowship offering, and the priest shall burn it on the altar as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. In this way, the priest will make atonement for them, and they will be forgiven. If someone brings a lamb as their sin offering, they are to bring a female without defect. That's 4 times in this chapter now, without defect. They are to lay their hands on the head and slaughter it for a sin offering at the place where the burnt offering is slaughtered. Then the priest shall take some of the blood off the sin offering with his finger and put it on the horn of the altar of the burnt offering, and pour out the rest of the blood at the base of the altar. They shall remove all the fat, just as the fat is removed from the land of the fellowship offering, and the priest shall burn it on the altar on top of the food offerings presented to the Lord. In this way, the priest will make atonement for them for the sins they have committed. They will be forgiven. So the whole deal is the priests are making atonement for the children of Israel, or Yasharel, or Israelites, or Hebrews, or humans, or whatever you want to call yourselves. And today, we don't know who's who. That's what's so sad. We don't know. There's been so much interbreeding going on. We can't tell who has the Spirit unless we're talking about the Creator. If you try to engage with somebody about God and they say that they don't, they're offended that, they don't believe in God, they don't want to go there, that's a demon, that's a devil. If so you want to talk to somebody about God and they tell you that God is Jesus Christ, he's a Trinity, he's a Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, then they are a demon with devils on them. It's that simple. Anything outside the worship of the supreme, self-existing, eternal, always perpetual, moving in motion, the almighty Spirit of truth is in error and will be judged harshly for it. So anyways, like I said, I did this show yesterday and it didn't upload. That's why I went live with it today. Thanks for stopping in, brother. I'm going to be doing another one probably today too. I'm going to get that up on the board. Much love to you, those that serve the Spirit, the living God, the self-existing, eternal one. God is solo. He rolls solo, man, and everything is to his glory. Inside me includes me and Jesus and David. Damn straight, man. Me, Jesus, and David. 22:16. Revelations. I, Jesus, have sent my angels to the churches to testify that I am the root and offspring of David, the bright morning star. Imagine that. House of David. E.T. brother, man. Hey, stop. Thanks for stopping in, man. You have a great day. Talk to you later. All to the new subscribers, welcome, man. If you stick around, most of you will probably leave, but if you stick around at this channel, you'll learn some real truth. You'll learn about the system that we live in. You'll learn about Gentile. You'll learn about the children of God. You'll learn that there's 2 races of people. One race was created good. One race was created evil in the beginning. And then what was good hearkened to the voice of a man, and then ate from the tree of knowledge and good and evil. And from that moment on, nothing on this plane of existence was good after that anymore. It was tampered with. It was ruined. A virus was placed on this plane of existence and everybody in it. So stay tight. Thanks for stopping in there, brother. House of David. Love it. Talk to you later. This is White Raptor News Ministries. Peace.